Hi, so for a library from scratch, number 14, I'm just going to talk through the plans that I talked about. So these are the plans for the new library, which will hopefully be reality in just a few years' time. And I'll just talk through how it's going to look from our initial plans that we were working on to the 3D plans that I just got through from the architect. So the existing library is up here and goes along. This is a server room at the moment, and obviously toilets here. This large area here is currently a day house for boys, and it's on 2 floors, so it's a bit dark and dingy underneath, but you can see it's actually quite a beautiful space. I wasn't very sure about it at first, but I reckon having thought about it and having talked to the architect, actually I can see that actually it would work really well. So um, this is the space, so the server room and the loos as were. And then there's a little bit of an extension here, and that will also go up onto the roof, so that would be over 2 floors. And that would be probably for sixth form study. I'll show you a bit more of that in a minute. And this whole area here that's currently the day house will also be for the library. So the library is just over triple, going to be just over triple in size. I'll just quickly scroll down. Yeah, just to show you the outside of what that extension would look like. So this is the current library here, and there's the extension. So it's not a huge amount of new build, so you're mostly talking about refurbish an existing space. The advantage of the building out here is that the views from there will be absolutely stunning. The view from the library is already lovely, but to have that high up is going to be absolutely beautiful. So just to show you a little quick thing, this is what I originally scribbled over using an annotated PDF app on my iPad. So just my ideas about what the library could look like. Just here, by the way, this is the corridor going through, and the idea is that there'll be glass doors here and glass doors here, so, and the desk is here. So actually the supervision into that other space would be quite easy. One thing that he hadn't put in was any sort of storage area or library office, nowhere to put a sink or tea making facilities, which is something that often gets forgotten about in libraries, but actually is very important because, okay, it's one, it's nice to make cups of tea for people, but it is also just in terms of clearing out spills and general mess that happens with teenagers. It's really, I think it's really important to have that, even if it's quite small, and just somewhere to put cardboard boxes and books that you're processing, that kind of thing. So obviously this is going to be a very busy area because this is kind of the main area here. But here, something that we don't have at the moment is going to be like a classroom area, somewhere that someone can present, whether that's a student or a teacher. So that's going to be a really powerful learning space for everybody. Let's go and show you what so that was the ground floor, and this is the first floor. The original architect said that they pulled the mezzanine back a little bit, but actually I said, well, why not put it back there, because you've got more than enough space. Even if the school gets considerably bigger, there's still plenty of space in the library, and that makes the classroom collaborative learning space beneath it so much more bright and beautiful. And we're just talking about light as well and how that would work. This area here is the new section. That's nothing at the moment. It's a roof at the moment, and that would be the views coming out here. So yeah, that's quite interesting. And then recently had the 3D plans from the architect. So here's that space again. Here's the mezzanine, and here's the classroom collaborative learning space here. The stairs are already existing here. Just go through on the next one. Sorry, some of these are a bit small, so I'm trying to open it up a bit. So this is just showing you the ground floor. Here's the classroom collaborative learning space, main entrance space, corridor going through, and then the sixth form room here. And you can see a little bit there as well. And if you prefer cross sections. There you go. And again, there you can see that how spectacular that will be, and how beautiful the light will be for working in. So this is coming from the corridor looking into the library itself. I did think the desk maybe was a bit enormous, and maybe a little bit unwelcoming, and so my suggestion was either to have one smaller desk or two smaller desks. He's been very clever here with putting cupboards in, and actually there'll be a sink unit in there. So that's great for the librarian to have some. You can put things in cupboards and close the doors. That's a good thing. Also here you'll see there's a screen, so that actually even without going in the library, people will see information on that screen. Some shelving and tables and chairs there. I did suggest maybe that the shelving probably didn't need to be quite so much. Of course, I haven't got a crystal ball, but one does assume that there'd be less paper books, even in just a couple of years' time. So really, we should be looking about how we can store devices and charge devices rather than storing paper. So that's kind of interesting to think about. So this is looking back out at the corridor. You can see the sixth form study room here, and because this is all glass, it does mean that the librarian will be able to see sixth form, make sure they're not rioting, or make sure they're working from there. But it also means they're closed off and they have their own space to learn in. In that space, you can see there's also a secondary room here. So that means that could be opened up if it's necessary, but if not, if a group wanted to work by themselves, or if you wanted to have one room that was a silent room, one that was more of a talking room, then you could do that with that space. That's quite interesting. There you go, see a bit better there. So this is in the kind of classroom collaborative learning space where students could be presenting, teachers could be learning. It's very flexible. You've got tables there, and you can move the chairs around. Whatever. So. And then you can see that the mezzanine and these are actually quite stunning. These what they are, supporty wooden things. I'm not an architect, I don't know the term. Buttress isn't right, is it? Big wooden things. They're really quite stunning, and so it'd be so nice to open that up and be able to make a feature out of those again. So there's that nice mezzanine space. So the idea is that this would probably be more like a quiet reading space, a fiction area. Yeah. And then through into that study space. Again, that could be used in different ways. That could be a quiet area for reading. I kind of see that as a quiet study area, to be honest. But then you do have those tables that you can move around, and that stunning view again. So that's it. It's all very exciting, and I can't wait to see how that shapes up. Back to normal with having to look at me next week. Okay, thanks a lot. Bye.